So my colleague Marc Malenfer told you already a bit about the foresight and the watch and foresight mission at the INRS. Just a quick word about the way we are working. Each year since 2013, the mission deals with a new subject chosen directly by our INRS board of directors. And topics that we have already been explored include modes and methods of production by 2040, platformization by 2027, or the circular economy by 2040. It is in this context that we have been asked in 2021 to address the subject of artificial intelligence as part of the foresight exercise. We focused more specifically on the possible uses of AI in occupational risk prevention. The aim of this study was to explore the various consequences of the use of this use of AI, be it positive or negative. To do so, a 16-member team was formed to follow the project from start to finish. This project team brought together strategic foresight experts, OSH experts, and AI specialists, INRS researchers, and representatives of external partners. 2035 was set as the horizon for this study, in order to be sufficiently distant in time for the experts to imagine potentially very innovative ideas, but not too far neither, as the innovations in the field of AI are progressing very rapidly. So the methodology for this exercise was organized around 4 main stages. The first task of the project team was to identify the main key factors, referred here as variables, for the development of AI in the field of OSH. Each selected variable was documented by one member by providing a precise definition of the subject, a description of its developments over the last 10 years, and a reflection on those likely to occur over the next 10 or 12 years. The second phase consisted in building global scenarios by combining hypotheses extracted from the different variables. And the objective of these combinations was to create contrasting scenarios describing possible futures. During the third phase, seminars have been organized devoted to 3 types of possible application of AI in OSH, and to confront them with the possible futures described in the scenarios. These seminars brought together members of the working group and occupational health and safety experts from within and outside INRS. In a last phase, the project team concluded its work by drafting 22 key messages as a basis for reflection for all the OSH stakeholders. Now I will present you the 4 scenarios. How I just explained, based on the variables analyzed, we were able to build 4 contrasting scenarios. A first scenario where technological exuberance is similar to today. The main players are the digital giants based in the West and China. States must rely on them to maintain their power and sovereignty. Regulation is therefore largely influenced by these giants. Automation is progressing, and the monitoring of processes and operators is becoming the preferred tool for safety at work in a context of a close collaboration between men and machines. In the second scenario, the uncontrolled development of AI has caused an increasing number of accidents and led to a narrowing of this framework in a context of growing environmental concerns. AI in the workplace is therefore developing in a fairly regulated environment, authorized for implementation only once the interest of the safety of the device have been proved. The third scenario shows how democratic control by workers and citizens has gradually developed over the course of the 2020s. In the 2030s, the technical innovations lead to the design of hybrid AI systems combining the power of machine learning with the transparency of logical reasoning systems. These techniques are placed in the service of performance, health, and safety in the work organizations. And finally, the fourth scenario describe how AI could experience a new winter facing the issue of a very high energy consumption associated with the global distrust of AI. From the 2030s onwards, these rejections leads to a decline of in this technology and its professional uses. But the drafting of scenarios is not an end in itself. It's mainly aimed to facilitate the assessment of the 3 use cases we identified. So now I will present you the use cases. So the third phase was dedicated to the analysis of use cases. On the basis of a literature review, we were able to identify 3 main use cases of AI for occupational health and safety. The first use case consists in the possible use of AI tools in epidemiology and accidentology. AI can indeed offer new possibilities of sophisticated and rapid processing from data in epidemiology collected for populations identified for their vulnerability or exposure. It should also allow better cross-use of different distinct databases like health indicators, occupational trajectories, individual or environmental measurement data, etc. In accidentology, automatic language processing systems also open up possibilities for better exploitation of textual data. Examples include death certificates, occupational accident declarations, data on occupational accident and disease, machine malfunction registers, etc. It is expected that this will lead to progress in risk assessment and analysis on condition that the rules for using those data are updated in order to guarantee their security and confidentiality. The second use case focuses on the technology for securing working environments. These solutions aim to secure working environments by using devices that analyze information from connected objects in real time. These devices work using sensors capable of measuring different parameters. 2 types of use of these monitoring systems are distinguished here. The first is systems aimed at monitoring the working environment and capable of activating an alert before the occurrence of a dangerous phenomenon, like the emission of a toxic product or the proximity of a moving equipment, or even of isolating an area or switching an equipment. These systems are defined here as detection solutions. And secondly, systems used to monitor the worker himself. They could be connected personal protective equipment that takes regular measurements of biometric data, or work equipment with biometric measurement sensors. And the third use case concerns advanced robotic using AI. Two use cases are considered here. First, teleoperation. In this case, the machine must take on board some of the expertise or capabilities of the human operator. This includes stereoscopic vision, movement in an environment that may not be accessible to humans, and the ability to grasp objects. The remote operator will then only control macro orders. This allows removing the operator from dangerous situations. And secondly, collaborative robotics that allows an operator to work in the immediate vicinity of a robot without physical risk. The collaborative robot can carry out physically demanding or dangerous tasks instead of the operator. And to be safe, the collaborations require the robot to be equipped with highly sophisticated faculties of perceptions of its human collaborator. So now I will talk you about the key messages we built. Thanks to the analysis of the 3 use cases conducted during the seminars, the project team were able to draft 22 key messages structured in 3 parts. First part is dedicated to the assessment of the potential of AI for OSH. Our first conclusion was that the 3 use cases appears to offer interesting prospects for the prevention of professional risks under certain conditions like employee training, data reliability, and risk assessment of these new technologies. The second part refers to specific warning in regards to the use of these technologies, like the fact that their high cost could lead companies to focus on the profitability and neglect the recommended usage for the worker safety. The apparent ease of use of these intelligent solutions could also lead the players to focus on the risk identified by the system without assessing the more organizational risks that are not taken into account by technological monitoring. Moreover, it is important to keep in mind that occupational accidents frequently occur in atypical situations like degraded situations, breakdown, maintenance operations, etc. These unforeseen situations are a possible limit of AI systems. Finally, the development of tools watching and alerting workers of unsafe work conditions may generate psychosocial risks and also lead to an individualization of OSH. In the last part, we identified some course of action for OSH players. Training is certainly the main key action to follow in order for OSH stakeholders to understand how these new tools are working and be able to detect risks or ethical issues. Training should also be provided for the designers of these technologies so that they are aware of the potential risks to workers inherent in their machines. It is also important to work at the standards and regulations level in order that OSH principles are taken into account. Eventually, we have to participate to the definition of the rule required to build reliable data sets and the framework of their use according to the fields of application. So if you would like to learn more about this study or our previous Foresight works, you can consult the Foresight section of the INRS website with the address here. And as Mark already mentioned, we draw your attention to a forthcoming international conference dedicated to the future of occupational health and safety that will take place in Paris on the 14th of November 2024. Thank you for your attention.